Alright guys, so we're back for another CBC podcast, and you're probably like, wait a second.
Why do you see our faces?
Yeah, and where's the other two? Where's Mitch and Tristan? Just to quickly update you, nothing's changing. There's just a lot of construction and stuff happening, so at the times we normally record, a bunch of noise, so we can't do it. So we have to do this later at night, which unfortunately means they can't make it to it, so we're just gonna do it like this. We've done this once before, but essentially this will be the podcast this week, and we'll go over some topics and talk about them, and it'll look different, obviously. If you're listening to the audio, it's just two voices, you have no idea what we're talking about, so
That's true.
there you go. What an intro. So, as always, Armin, find me at Arminies, and Comic Book Cast, all one word, and that's where you find me, and this is Shay.
Hey guys, you can find me at Mache1602 on Instagram.
Yep. So, just a quick update. We do have the CBC membership, which now is about a week. I think I announced it on Saturday, so there's already a good community forming on that if you guys are inclined to join. I'm going to toss up an image right now of some of the things we're offering currently, and there's obviously going to be more coming down the road. Audio commentaries, TV reviews, video games, comics. It's just extra content that we do on the side of this that we decide to put on there. We reviewed Hobbs and Shaw, The Boys, the latest season of S.H.I.E.L.D., and our predictions for the next one. So it's just content to give you more if you guys want to join. And there's a lot of good people already there kind of joining in on the community conversation. So it's pretty good to see. Just a little extra if you guys like it. If not, hopefully you enjoyed this show. So, yeah, should we get to the first topic?
Let's get to that first topic.
Okay. So, there's been a lot of discussion about Deadpool's future. At the latest Disney investors call, Bob Iger, the guy running Disney, was like, alright, everything's at Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios, Deadpool, Fantastic Four, X-Men, so he's coming to the MCU.
So that's actually good news, because the last time we were talking about Deadpool, we were talking about the non-existence of where could he be.
What's going on with him. Now we have the official update at the investors call, which is good, but the newest details coming out, because the director of Deadpool 2 is now saying, well, we could do it PG-13, and there's been some hints towards it. The apparent rumor is that they're trying to figure out Deadpool solo movies, rated R, Deadpool jumps to a team-up movie, must be PG-13.
Okay.
Can that work?
That would be really interesting, because they really would have to change what Deadpool is, at least the current Deadpool that we have. We've discussed this many, many times before, and the issue is if he breaks the fourth wall, especially if just one other MCU character is with him, you break that fourth wall, it completely takes you out of the entire experience. So how do they do that? Do they make it so somehow somebody cast a curse on him, and that the moment he's with another person, he's like, oh, I'm just in a comic book, or I'm in a comic book movie, but I can't say that I'm in a comic book movie.
I think the problem with him, let's say hypothetically they do his solos as PG-13 or rated R.
Rated R, okay.
Okay, you keep on doing that, that's cool. You bring him into the core MCU for a team up with Blade and all the Avengers.
Yeah.
That's great, it's going to be huge.
Especially with those kinds of Blade.
Right, you're allowed one F-bomb, so Deadpool could bounce around that, and the joke can be that he doesn't get the F-bomb. Or to swear, which would be funny, and it would take some talented writers to pull this off, but...
Which we've seen Marvel has some of, the most talented people out there.
They pulled off Infinity War and Endgame, and I had, 30 characters a pop, so they can figure out Deadpool. To me, it's just the issue of how do we take Deadpool from R to 13 to R to 13 and keep doing that cycle. I would want it to be one way, and that's it. You know, I don't like to jump in between, because then he is so restricted. It's like, you watch his solo, you're like, oh wow, that's a lot of violence and profanity. And then you watch the next one, and you're like, so now he might as well just have a cat on his shoulder and just be like, I can't say a single thing. It's weird.
Yeah, it really is, having to go from those two. It is a really big gap and difference nowadays, because you sit there and you look at how his rated R movies are, and then you look at the first PG-13 movies that Marvel made. Yeah, okay, let's say Captain America. the first Avenger.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty violent movie because of the fact that it's based in World War II. Like,
right.
We have this whole scenario that makes it so you have to have that type of violence and altercation.
It's like Wonder Woman.
Oh,
the movie uses mustard gas, and they deal with that as a plot point, but it's a PG-13 movie. You can do it, but Deadpool...
When they go R, they go like borderline M.
And
like,
I don't mean this as an insult to anybody who likes Deadpool, but from what I noticed from a lot of Deadpool fans, he skews a lot younger and a lot more immature and a lot more in-your-face poochy swearing. To me, the definitive version of Deadpool is Remender's run of X-Force, where he's way more serious and he's essentially like Snake Eyes, just like a complete killer ninja. To me, I like that version more, and I think there's been this shift where everybody sees Deadpool as just meme.
Yeah.
But he's more than that, and I think they gotta walk that back a little, because you can't make that work in the MCU, I don't think. And he comes with that R rating. Now, if they just say he's rated R, and his film is literally him being a killer ninja, then that's easy to translate to PG-13. All you have to do is show less decapitations. Oh boy, like,
you can just sit there and you see the blade, and they do the beautiful camera angle of here's the blade,
and the
you
blood
see
splats,
him,
right.
and then that's it. Like, that's definitely an easy way for them to work around. And in that investors call, it's not like they said we're getting Deadpool 3. They said we're getting Deadpool. So that, I feel, the fact that he didn't come out and say we're getting Deadpool 3 means this has got to be a new Deadpool.
I think it's gonna be. I think they're just gonna put Reynolds in, same suit. Here's your Deadpool. He's in the MCU.
Yeah.
He'll make a joke or two about another continuity. They could do something with the multiverse. It's going to be huge in the next year.
Oh, yeah.
Like with Scarlet Witch's show, and then, of course, Doctor Strange. So there's ways to do it.
They could just sit there and be like, oh, this feels like a deja vu.
Yeah.
And say, like, when he meets the X-Men, it's like, whoa, there's a lot more of you. Like, you can do that little type of thing and be like, okay, so it's kind of the same Deadpool, but it's now MCU Deadpool. And they have to. They have to change
that has to be the way to do it.
And just like we keep saying, unfortunately, you can't break the fourth wall the moment he is with any other character. So maybe we get a rated R movie of his, like Deadpool Reborn. I don't know.
Sure.
I'm just saying Reborn. So we get how he was with Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get something that happens, and then he is brought into the MCU world.
Look, the point of Deadpool 2 was that the movie is pointless because he gets that little device, rewinds time, and does the whole movie, and then he goes in the post-credit scene and joins... Was that the Ferris Bueller one? I can't remember. Anyway, he has a time travel device.
Yeah.
There's your in. Like, there's your in. So, I mean, I have to wait and see, but... Deadpool's a moneymaker, so he's coming.
Oh, yeah.
Whether you like it or not, Deadpool's joining the MCU soon, so we'll see how that goes. Dark Phoenix, huh?
Ooh.
You know it's bad when the investors call happens and Bob Iger is like, yeah, we saw some bombs this year, Dark Phoenix. Thanks for cutting that bottom line. It's bad. Like...
It's really bad when you have these people who are supposed to be representing your, like, the new company, and have to be semi-excited because of the fact that they are able to get these properties. And, of course, the Marvel side's really happy they're getting their Marvel properties back, but then they have to sit there and be like, shame on you.
It's a
shame.
Yes, we got the X-Men, but these aren't the X-Men that are going to be good. These are the bad X-Men. It's a weird scenario with Dark Phoenix, and I know somebody got really mad last time we had this discussion about Dark Phoenix and how hard it was bombing because I said Fantastic Four was a better film, because it is. Let me try to explain this to you in case you're listening and you need an explanation. Fantastic Four 2015 was a one and done film. It was one and done, and it flopped. Yep. You still had one alright film and one terrible one with Silver Surfer, so take it as you will. Dark Phoenix is the conclusion to a 19-year legacy that shat all over everything that came before as a conclusion, and that managed to mess up the Dark Phoenix a second time. Yep. It is a far worse film in that term. I'm not saying, like, I'm not praising Fantastic Four, trust me. I still have PTSD from that movie, but...
Yeah, he does.
It's just a matter of perception, and Dark Phoenix, like... it is such a bomb that honestly, that's the only way they talked about it was the fact that it bombed.
Yeah, it really makes me go back and think about some of the topics we had when we were first originally finding out that Fox was being acquired by Disney, and we're like, just cut your losses and don't have the film come out.
Yeah.
Right now, they're all like this. They're like, oh my gosh, we should have cut our losses and just not had this film released.
They should have cut their losses, dumped it on Hulu, or waited till Disney Plus, and been like, see the conclusion to the X-Men, along with every other X-Men movie. It would have made more just by subscriptions, because it wouldn't have hurt that bottom line that they give investors. Because what people don't understand is if they didn't release it, they wouldn't have made any money, right? That's true. But the money would have went back in to Disney Plus, which is exactly why they were talking about it. Like, look, we're pulling back partnerships and deals right now, so by the end of the year, Captain Marvel's gonna lose them $50 million, but it's losing $50 million because they're not licensing it to Netflix and they're putting it on Disney Plus, which in 5 years will turn a giant investment because that's the only place you can get it. So Phoenix was... It was just something that I don't know what they were thinking. They probably had to put it out. It was probably contractual, being like, no, we're told we have to, so we might as well do it.
Yeah, especially it's like, we had the New Mutants now, that was supposed to come out.
It's had 4 dates already.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, we're redoing it, and then nobody's heard anything about it besides obviously us kind of people being like, hey guys, remember when this was the original release date of this? Yeah. Where's that? That's kind of what Dark Phoenix should have done. It should have just been like hey, wasn't this supposed to come out?
Yeah.
Oh, it's here now? Oh, okay.
Yeah, like, it's a weird scenario. And on top of this, they did mention a few more things I do want to go over. I'm not just going to toss Dark Phoenix as a whole under the bus. Star Wars, the theme park, is making less than anticipated, but they go into details on why, and it makes a lot of sense. The number of people that were showing up is through the roof, and the annual pass members are waiting till the completed park is out.
That makes a lot of sense.
So there's a lot of problems with the way people are selling this, and another major factor in this that a lot of people are overlooking on why Disney's Star Wars attraction is under, because they can't keep anything in stock. You want anything? They're like, we're sold out. They're like, but you just restocked it yesterday. They're like, yeah, but everybody wants a $1,000 droid, apparently. So, like, there is a lot of stuff on the bottom line, but you have to read between it. But the biggest takeaway you should get is Dark Phoenix was the major one in this. And it is unfortunate, but the more unfortunate thing to me is that the movie was garbage.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to like it from the get-go because I knew it was going to be bad because of Apocalypse. But I wanted the movie to prove me wrong, like other movies have in the past.
Yeah.
And it didn't do it. It proved me right. And I was like, well, I guess I was right on that one. I knew not to trust them, so...
Yeah. It really put a bad name on how we're now ending X-Men as a whole. Like, Logan ended perfectly.
That's where it ended in here.
Like, that's where it should have ended. They should have just never, ever had Dark Phoenix come out. Like, they shouldn't even been thinking of it, and then skip straight to New Mutants. Yep. And go and be like, here, this is our new story, New Mutants. So that's how they should have done it. That's how it's mentally, just like
in here, ended with Logan. Logan and Deadpool were the perfect send-off. I don't even count Deadpool 2 because I didn't like that one. So,
it's not as good.
But, Dark Phoenix. Hopefully this is the last time. Oh, no, we're going to have to do the audio commentary.
No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. I'm calling in sick that day. I have to get my nails done. You're going to pull a Tristan
with Suicide Squad?
No, that was me. Tristan. Remember, I had to get my nails done.
Venom 2, new director, Andy Serkis.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm really excited. I haven't, unfortunately, watched Mowgli, which a lot of people were sitting there and be like, don't watch it because it's not Andy Serkis. He's not actually the one who truly did this.
Right, he directed it, but there was a lot of behind-the-scenes shadiness that happened.
Yeah. I'm really excited because if you're going to get anybody who has to be able to mocap or be able to direct people in mocapping of a creature, it's him. Like,
I can't wait. I can't wait for the behind-the-scenes look where they're like, this is how you mocap Carnage, and it's him with a bunch of tentacles on him, like slithering on the floor, Because you know he's going to do it to show them how to do it. And it's going to be like, you know what? This dude loves his job.
It's going to be amazing because you'll see like all the people with their dotted suits who are supposed to be doing it. And then you're going to see Andy Serkis just grabbing like pool noodles or something.
Right.
Like sticking them on as a backpack, not even dotted up, and be like, this is how you do it, guys. Like,
and it's not even that. I'm excited by what he said because apparently Tom Hardy has a really close hand in doing this script and developing where Eddie Brock is going because he didn't have as much last time. And not only that, Andy Serkis says they're going in a completely new direction for this franchise. I still think they're going to do Carnage because that was the build-up.
Yeah.
That's happening.
Or at least maybe they'll build up Carnage in the
Cletus
third
Cassidy
one?
build him up. Maybe he gets it at the end and then build it up, which I would actually like more if maybe they do Anti-Venom in this one. Because then you
He's
got...
like my guilty pleasure. I love Anti-Venom.
To me, Anti-Venom's perfect because if he becomes the Lethal Protector, which he is,
Yep.
then give him that other side of him, the anti-side, where he just wants to be a villain. And then once Eddie thinks it's taken care of, now he's got to go all brutal out because Carnage is here. But to me, it's a weird scenario because I liked Venom.
Yes. Or did we really like it because we were in Aruba?
No, I liked it. I liked it.
I did. It was actually... I went into it thinking it was going to be, like, really kind of bad.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Dark Phoenix, how you were like, I kind of wanted to... I wanted to go in bad, and I wanted it to beat my expectation, and that actually is what Venom did.
Happened, yeah.
Like, I enjoyed that movie. It was a fun movie to watch, and... that the fact that we have Andy Serkis, we have Tom Hardy, who really you can tell he was having fun. So now that he gets to help develop his character, is going to just be able to show you how much he cares for the character. We're gonna have much better visual effects because you're gonna have a mocapping genius doing it.
I assume like that's the thing. If you watch Venom, everything moves unnaturally. Because they didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
Like, there's scenes where he's fighting...
The head.
Not Carnage.
The head.
Riot, I think was his name. There's scenes where he's fighting Riot.
Oh, yeah.
And...
I think at one point they were both just one blob.
Right, and it was such a mess on screen sometimes where I think this is definitely going to define it. It'll certainly help that one of these guys is going to be a black gooey monster and the other one's going to be red or possibly white. So it'll be like, good. You know, there's going to be some offset and contrast in there. And to me, the new direction, I hope what Andy Serkis means is it'll have a script. Because the first one, I'm debating whether that had a script. It felt like a Michael Bay movie at points where I'm like, they're clearly just moving from action scene to action scene and there wasn't much in between, so...
Oh, what are you talking about? They had cinematic... like mastery when they had Tom Hardy biting the head off of
apparently that was his. He decided he wanted to do that and jumped in the tank, so I mean,
so then like I said, he wants to have fun with this character because if you stop right now and think about it, how insane would you go if you had something in your head that wanted to just bite off other people's heads, but you have to keep your mind, but you're already mentally broken because you lost everything.
I am mentally broken. I'm not gonna get Solo 2. It's true. It'll happen though, probably. I don't know. See, I gotta wear Solo or Inhumans in these videos. So I don't know, like, I'm excited by Venom 2. Here's another reserve I have. A month ago at San Diego, Amy Pascal was like, we have no idea what the status is. And they have a date set for next October, which now they're in the same boat they were in the last time because they have to start shooting at least a year out. So hopefully they got a solid script or they're going to do it by October, November because, man, if they get into that same boat again where it's a rush production, I feel like they could...
We'll see it.
Yeah, we'll see that effect, and I don't want that. I would like this movie to be good.
I wonder if she was doing that to be like, I don't know.
I don't know if you'd want to do that, though, when everybody has their eyes on you. Like...
That's true.
Like, that's the weird scenario. Like, I understand what Warner Brothers does it, because they're like, we have no idea. So, okay.
They're actually saying, we have no idea because we don't know A and B equals C, like, kind of thing.
Henry Cavill wants to be Superman. Better not hire him. Oh, okay. Idiots. But yeah, Venom.
Excited.
I
can't wait to see more.
Yeah,
so
same,
hopefully soon, by like October, we'll know more.
Who's cast and what they're doing.
Yeah.
Moon Knight, huh?
Ooh.
Yes.
We kind of already had basically female Moon Knight.
So
that's exciting, actually. So it's rumored.
It's rumored right now. There's been mumblings of Moon Knight as much as there's been Blade for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And Blade is not Phase 4, he's Phase 5.
Yeah.
And, like, the rumors are that they are going to at some point do this because Kevin Feige's talked about Moon Knight, and it's not a character that they keep saying it's going to be on TV directly. So, there's also been, like, casting rumors. The Russo brothers, the Avengers writers have all mentioned Moon Knight by name. I think they want to move forward with them, but here's my guess that this rumor comes from. If they're willing to do Blade, they're willing to do Moon Knight because they know there will be an audience. If you can spin that off and introduce him properly, because that would then give people a through line, it would make sense to me. You know, it's like a good introduce him in Blade or Blade 2 and then carry him out. It makes sense.
So if it's if it's rumored currently right now for a Phase 5, we know for sure Blade is Phase 5.
Yep.
So there's two places then that you could actually introduce him. The Ghost Rider show.
You could, yeah.
Especially because they said everything on Disney Plus, you have to make sure you watch.
And now they're with Hulu since the connection, and they even said prior to recording this, I talked about this elsewhere. They're now the same. There will be Marvel TV shows, not Marvel Studios TV shows, on Disney Plus, and there will be that connection now because they all work under one banner. So you could do that on, Midnight Suns or Spirits of Vengeance or whatever they want to do.
And then, of course, you also have him in Blade. There's the availability that you can actually have him meet, almost like how we always meet Daredevil. We meet Matt Murdock first. We figure out what Matt Murdock is, and then we're like, wait a second, something's not right about this guy. And we find out he's Daredevil. Honestly, it's a rinse and repeat, but it's a good way of doing it.
I think, to me, the scenario, Blade, I'm going to assume it's going to be a movie set in Europe, because vampire lineage is so Europe-tied. So, if you're going to do that, I would understand it from that perspective. Mark Spector, Moon Knight, Egyptian connection. You can cheese your way over into Egypt and have a split. And Blade, he's dealt with vampires and werewolves. Same with Moon Knight. So there is a connection there. And now that we've had those talks about them, how there's going to be different almost styles of MCU, I think you start to understand there's going to be the cosmic, the street, and the dark. And the dark is going to be probably where you offset your Moon Knight, your Blade, and your Deadpool maybe, and maybe Deadpool jumps around. And I think Moon Knight is interesting because he's so violent. Because he would make Deadpool and Blade's levels of violence look tame. So I don't know how you pull that off. That's my thing with it.
So here's what Moon Knight would they do? Would they do the older classic one, or are they going to do the more new suited version that they have?
Both.
Do both?
Both.
Okay, so we'll have potentially both of those costumes in there. I can see them taming it down a little bit.
By a little bit, they gotta tame him at least 95% compared to how much he does. He is violent.
I don't know very much about Moon Knight besides the fact that I think he's very interesting of a character.
I've read what there was to read, which was an essentials book that kind of tells you everything, and that's about it. Violence is definitely the key to him, which just makes him some of his appeal and his schizophrenia and stuff. And again, that's something that they have to tippy-toe around carefully because of the schizophrenia. So that's my whole thing with Moon Knight. You either have to change him a lot, and maybe the comics are going to do it in the next couple years. Maybe they're going to refine him, kind of like they did Captain Marvel, where they changed pretty much everything about her backstory, but it worked. Yeah. So maybe they do that with Moon Knight, and it makes sense. And to me, it's always been that argument where people are like, Moon Knight's just Marvel's Batman. I was like, sure, in the most layman term possible. Did they actually make him Marvel's Batman and just be like he's violent? Because that takes away some of it, I think.
Yeah, it's well, like I said in the beginning, like we kind of already had a female. I'm blanking on her name. When she was in Daredevil, and that's where we originally were going to have rumors of.
Oh well, not Daredevil. Iron Fist season 2, Typhoid
yes.
Mary.
Typhoid Mary, thank you.
Yeah, they did the whole.
So she was a schizophrenic, and they were able to hide that very, very well. So she was one of her personas was extremely violent, and she had multiple, and unfortunately we're never going to know the conclusion of how many she has, because we rumored of 3 of them, but like that was a character that you see her in her actual like comic book form, and you're like, what is this? And you have her in the show, and she was very tame, but she was the same character.
To me, what if it's done like this? What if Blade is happening in Phase 5 because they're waiting for Deadpool as well to see if they can pull off the R, and then if Blade goes R, then Moon Knight is R, and then you're allowed to do whatever the hell you want. And I want to be real with people. There is no way on this planet that Blade's budget is over 150. I will be shocked if it passes $100 million, because Captain Marvel is like 150. Guardians 1 is like 150.
Look,
like Spider-Man 150. What does Blade need? They're gonna shoot that thing in Prague in like 3 weeks.
For real.
I will be shocked if it's over 100 mil. They can, I think, gamble hard R on those films because they know the return is there. I mean, Fox did it with Deadpool with 50 mil and made 800.
Yeah.
So I think they might be willing to do it. And if Moon Knight is rumored, I'm willing to suspect they're going to try hard R for him, because nothing else would work for me.
Yeah, especially it's like you look at IGN, they did a poll right after San Diego Comic-Con, and it's just like, what are you most anticipated for? Like, Blade. not Blade. It was like 1%, 2%, 5%, 38% or something around that line was Blade.
Blade was second place, and the other one was like a 1% ahead. The Blade's going to be huge, and I think Moon Knight is your lead off to that. Hopefully we hear soon. I think in the next 2 years we'll know about Moon Knight. I feel that, you know.
Oh yeah. Once we start hearing more about where Blade's going, Moon Knight's gonna be right after that.
Yep. Well, X-Future.
So we're starting with X-Men and a lot of X-Men news, and we're gonna end it that way too.
Rumors say not till Phase 6. What do you think?
You know what? I'm actually. Phase 6, we don't know how far away that's going to be, because Phase 4 is only 2 years.
See, that's the key. That's the key right there that I want to bring up. What if Phase 5 is another 2 years? Or what if they say Phase 5 is going to be a radical attempt at something you've never seen before? 4 movies, 4 TV shows.
1 year.
That's it. We're like, what? And they're like, no, that's the phase. That's it. Like, they could do that because they said there's no more traditional phases. I think Phase 6, people are thinking 5 years after Phase 4, and I'm like, I don't think that's it.
No,
that's not it.
I can actually see Phase 5 being the dark and gritty. Like, so Phase 5 right, or say Phase 4 right now is already kind of looking in the dark and gritty, because come on, you have a actual horror movie in the MCU now with Doctor Strange. So then we're going to go, and we already have the higher rumors of Blade is going to be 5. He's going to be in Phase 5. So, and then, just like our previous topic, potentially of Moon Knight. So that's a violent one. So here you go. We're going to go back down to basics. We're going to deconstruct. We have enough time out of our heads of the X-Men that were before. Exactly. So it'll be about 6, I'm going to say 6 years, like we've been stating. We're going to get an X-Men movie within 5 to 6 years.
5 years, I think, is the sweet spot.
And there we go, and that's where it's going to be.
We know Fantastic Four, I guarantee, is happening first.
Yes, I can see that.
X-Men, I will say maybe 5 to 6, maybe even 7 years, because you're going to get Wolverine first.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a really...
I could see that.
The opportunity to make Wolverine trilogy alone and have him be the first one to show up is too tantalizing, because you have Marvel Studios presents Wolverine, billion.
Oh yeah.
That's a franchiser right there. You don't want to time up with the X-Men because, again, you don't want him taken away from the X-Men because he's not an X-Men.
And you also don't want to have a rinse and repeat of what we just ended.
So I think that's the way you do it. And I would be fine with X-Men coming way later. To me, I don't need them anytime soon. And I wouldn't mind if they were that transitional thing where after Captain Marvel 2 and Black Panther 2, they take 5 years to get those third ones out, like they're going to take with Ant-Man and such, and then they introduce them in that in-between period so they can do some interconnected stuff. Because, again, why rush it out there? Any of them, really. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, it's... you have everything now.
We have such a full slate currently right now, and honestly, to me, like, feeling like we're getting so much new. Phase 4 is all new. Like, it's like, what are we even doing when it comes to Phase 4? And then eventually, like, Phase 5, we have to start having some of those other sequels. So we have already, like, this onslaught of different characters. Yes, we don't have, like, 3 or 4 returning, because we don't have Captain America, Iron Man.
I mean, we don't, but let's be real, we have a new Captain America.
Yes.
We're going to have Rhodey still around. Like, we don't have the core ones. I get what you're saying, but I think it's about growth and moving. Like,
I feel like there also has to be a event. Something has to happen to allow mutants to be here, because...
Well, he did even say it's going to be completely different than what was done before. And I joked about it in a video saying, oh, they're going to finally make a good X-Men movie. It was joking, but not really, because you can't just do mutants that have been here the entire time, and you can't do multiverse because that takes away from them.
Yeah.
So, again, this is probably the hardest one they have to come up with, because the moment mutants show up, you can't just be like, there's 10 of them, because they got to have that allegory for what they stand for and changes in teenagers, so there's got to be hundreds of thousands of them.
Yeah.
And again, they can't just pop up out of nowhere. It's really interesting, and I think that's why they're saying it's going to be a little bit longer. It's like, because realistically, they got to set it up for a while. Yeah,
because luckily enough, like, when we were still having Inhumans, before they were just literally only on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, they're not an MCU, they're nowhere to be seen but only Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They had a great way to be able to introduce the Inhumans. The Terrigen Mist went into the water supply, so anytime you had vitamins or food that dealt with fish, you then went through Terrigenesis. Simple.
Right.
It was easy. But you can't do that because it's a mutation. The only thing I can think of is... Oh, wow, I actually just thought of it. So the snap and the blip. When you sat there and you have the people coming back, by the time we have X-Men, it's going to be years after these people have been finally back into society. That blip, those particular people have probably the higher chance of their bodies having a mutation because they went from non-existence to existence.
I think you got to also tie... Because it has to tie into Eternals now. Because they said Eternals is going to deal with past, present, and future. The Eternals are the reason, like the Celestials, which you're going to deal with in Eternals, are the reasons you have Inhumans and the mutants and all that. So, if they do tie it in that way, they'd have to explain in Eternals that there's a dormant gene, and that gene can only be activated by the full power of the Infinity Stones.
I can see that.
I would buy that, so it's always been there and just hasn't been activated till it happened.
Yeah.
And I'd be okay with that. It's just... It's so far out that just think of it in this way. In the next 5 years, we're going to have Fantastic Four and probably the Negative Zone. We have the Quantum Realm. We're going to have vampires, which with them brings like werewolves and the supernatural. Like, it's a lot to take on. And I can see why mutants would be on, you know what, just we'll introduce those guys down the road. Because you're already putting on so much on your plate just with vampires.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be...
You have to now explain how the MCU world had vampires this entire time.
Right, how Dracula is a real thing that's always been there in the lineage of the blood and the Pures and all that. It's going to be interesting, and honestly, take all the time you need with X-Men. Yeah. There's still they've TASM'd me out. Amazing Spider-Man 2'd me out, where the last movie was so bad that I don't care about them. I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, you can take your time with these. I have other stuff over here that I'm looking forward to, like WandaVision, you know? So,
oh my gosh, something that's going to be completely different than what we've ever seen, like, again, already. So, yeah, and they always can potentially have them within different pieces and parts, because, like I said, if what you and I just both came up with randomly, the blip caused it because of the power of all Infinity Stones being brought together in one location, activates the gene, then you are randomly seeing it pop up. So you could potentially start seeing small Easter eggs of background things. Say if they're in somebody gets hurt and they're in a hospital, you're going to have one of the x-rays of something, and you're going to see the fact that wings are growing off of someone. Like, you're going to start seeing these things, and they're going to honestly first think it could be Inhumans, and then realizing, wait, these people aren't
they're not even gonna mention Inhumans, because they'll be on the TV side of things, and that'll happen maybe with Miss Marvel when she happens with Terrigenesis. But to me, it's just, realistically, I think Black Panther 2 gives you a chance with mutations, because the Savage Land has got to be the closest thing to Wakanda, and it's a giant jungle, and to me, I think that's your way, and you could bring in Storm in there, or, I don't know, you say, hey, this new bad guy, turns out that vibranium wasn't the only thing. There was a second meteorite, adamantium. Like, you know, there's always a way to cheese this around, and I think that's what they're going to do. That's why Kevin Feige implied it's going to be different, because they can't do the same thing. They've done the same thing for 19 years, movie after movie, so no more.
And even tried to remake it, then said, no, we can't remake it, so we're just going to go back in time, and thank you for finally coming home.
Yep. So, that brings us to the end of this one.
Yeah, really good topics. Like,
I would say this was a good show. Impromptu, since we couldn't do the normal show like we said, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. And who knows, sometimes we might just pop up with more topics like this. We don't know. If you guys like it, obviously just let us know. And
yes, please
we'll consider more maybe sidecasts, me and Shay just kind of doing more topics like this. Obviously, as you heard at the beginning of the show, and I'll bookend it with it, this is what we do on that members page. We've done a ton of videos, and there's still more coming. And we've done discussions on The Runaways, Titan Season 2, which we're super hyped for.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's a lot on there, guys, so hopefully we see you there, and some of the other members see you there, and we'll catch you guys hopefully next week for a normal show.
Yes.
Hopefully they're taking care of everything.
Everybody please just like be like, okay.
Send positive energy towards them finishing this up.
Yes, let's get those Constructicons out of here.
Yes.
Get them out of here.
Take a hike, Bruticus. Oh, wait, hold on, that wasn't Bruticus. Wait, what was the Constructicon's name?
No, I just knew a Constructicon.
Now I gotta look this up. Hold up. Devastator. Out of here, Devastator. Bruticus was the other one. I blanked for a second. It's okay. Nerd cred's still intact. All right. Yes.